The major reason why America is in the trouble it is today is because of good, law-abiding, church-going Negroes. Yes. Who do not realize that there's no such thing as a sacred law, but a game that's run on the people who make the law as a means of manipulating and robbing from other people. That's what it's about. So when you become law-abiding, you agree to the rules of the game. And if the rules of the game mean that those who are in control legitimize their thievery, you will go along with that theft of your very life and property because you want to claim how law-abiding you are. And someone has told you to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's when Caesar stole it from you in the first place. Someone told you not to see color and not to choose, and that to choose to take care of your own children and to spend money so that your own children can benefit first is reverse racism. So that you feel guilty when you spend with a black person and you feel inflated and morally pure when you give your money to other people. And you feel that you're doing God's will. And yet it goes against the very morality that you should know, that those who receive charity should be those who are in need of it most. And if you looked hard at your own situation, you would recognize that black children and black people are in need of your wealth more than any other people. But somebody's got you thinking that to give your wealth to people who are already rich, to not pay any attention to how you spend your money, is an example of Christian charity and morality. And therefore, following this moral structure, you have created neighborhoods overrun with the kind of problems that we talk about here today. Negroes who talk about that they're individuals and that they're doing their own thing. Isn't that interesting? We talk about individualism, right? That means that we're supposed to be uniquely different. If we're so uniquely different, why do we buy millions and millions of 3-liter bottles of Pepsi Cola? Why do we buy millions of pairs of Timberland shoes? Where are all these individuals who supposed to have such different tastes and choice?
Eating too much salt causes hypertension, right?
Why do we buy millions and millions of the same types of clothes, the same type of food, the same type of entertainment, the same type of music? What are we talking about? Who are these individuals who have such separate choices that they end up buying over and over again the same product, millions upon millions upon millions of the same product, saying they're doing their own thing, and I'm an individual expressing my own taste? You must be joking. You're no individuals. There's no such thing as individualism. It's a joke that the white man runs on you. You say these other people are individuals? Well, tell me this. Why is it that 180 million white individuals decide that they won't spend a nickel with you? If they are so free, and if they are so different, and if they are so unique, and if they do all their things, and if they, then why is it a good chunk of them don't spend money with black people? Where is this individual choice? Where is this individual choice when 7 or 8 million Asians will walk 10 miles around not to put a nickel in your hands, and yet they come and sell you everything they got? Where is this individualism, ladies and gentlemen? Where is this individualism in Detroit when Arabs can own the infrastructure of that city and Negroes spend money after money with them and they not spend a dime and they treat them like dogs? But we are individuals. We are doing our own thing. We are not a monolithic race. I believe in diversity. You're the only one that believe in it too. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are a de facto nation in America. Black people are the most segregated people on the American continent. We are even segregated in our suburbs. Only a small percentage of black people really live in what you call mixed neighborhoods. We're locked in these ghettos. And yet we're pretending that we're some kind of diverse culture. America literally has imprisoned us.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. All right, so hopefully everything's sounding good. You know what I'm saying? And y'all let me know if something happened along the way. And first of all, shouts out to the revolutionary matron. You know, I was waiting to see if she would go on because you know I wouldn't have did this if she hadn't went on. But you know, I did want to come on here just to chop it up. It ain't nothing serious or nothing like that. But we do have to, you know, talk about some stuff. So shouts out to whoever is out there listening. I already know I appreciate y'all for listening. You know what I'm saying? So now if she does come on here, then I probably will get off, you know, because y'all need to listen to what she says. And she is definitely reading. So y'all subscribe to the Revolutionary Matron channel and all of that. And shouts out to everybody else too. But anyway, what's going on, Raw? Appreciate you for being in the building. All right. So, but I'm going to just go ahead on to what I'm here to do. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you this. And just for a second, just to give people a chance to get up in here. Because I'm kind of curious to what y'all say before we talk about whatever it is we're going to talk about. Now, check this out, right? So,
the greatest actress ever to set on an American stage. Meryl somebody. What's her name? Meryl Streep. Guess who she getting ready to play? Harriet Tubman. I can't wait for the reviews.
Came onto Beyonce's internet, the World Wide Web, the www.coms, if you will, and said that she is the Harriet Tubman of influencing. Excuse me for just a quick moment.
yeah.
Because they
So,
wouldn't
check
let her
this out.
perform as Harriet Tubman. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, for me, that didn't sit right. Harriet Tubman isn't just a historical name in a textbook.
My bad, I skipped it. So pretty much this white, white bitch, you know what I'm saying, is sitting here suing because she wants to put on blackface and try to portray Harriet Tubman.
She's family. She's part of the soul of Black history, someone who risked it all to lead our people to freedom. So when I hear that a white woman wants to be her, act like her, speak in her voice, it hits different. But here's where it gets tricky. This woman, Annette Hubble, she says she wasn't trying to be disrespectful. She says she spent years researching Harriet's life. She's done hundreds of shows playing different women from history. And now, because she's white, she's being told she can't perform Harriet. And she feels like that is discrimination. So now I'm asking myself, is this just a misunderstanding? Is it an honest attempt to share history across cultures? Or is it a case of someone knowing full well that this role wasn't meant for them, but doing it anyway?
It's the good one. It's the good ones.
To start controversy. And more importantly, who gets to tell our story? It's about understanding how we
figures, white like herself and Black.
It never occurred to me that that might even be an issue.
She says Rancho Santa Fe Library asked her to perform her show for Women's History Month. She gave them a list of characters to pick from. They chose Harriet Beecher Stowe, a white abolitionist, Mary McLeod Bethune, Black civil rights leader, and Harriet Tubman, who escaped slavery and rescued others. A couple weeks before the show, they asked Hubble to swap out Bethune and Tubman for white characters.
And I said, why? And they said, she said, because it's not appropriate for you to be doing this. You're a white woman. And I said, oh, no. You don't understand. I'm honoring these women. And she said, that doesn't.
Anyway. You know what? I'm not even going to say anything about that, you know. And I'm going to play this and then we're going to get into it, right? You know. So check this out, though. I got you.
County video shows Miss Betty Smith get into a scuffle with 3 now former store employees. The deputy cuffs her granddaughter while her special needs son waited in the car. They tell me they want a better response from the sheriff's office and didn't hear anything from them until we called.
I'm 65 years old and I ain't never been to jail in my life. And some of the people that got it out there, they had me in there being held captive because I had robbed and stole something out the store. See, I don't like my name and that kind of stuff.
Miss Betty Smith was taking her daily trip to Lindemann's grocery store and industry, grabbing ice cream for her son when she believes her good day turned into a great one.
I saw a $50 bill on the floor. And I told the cashier, I said, look at him, my lucky day.
That's when she says the cashier.
See, that's the number one. That's a black people problem. We talk too damn much. Keep your mouth shut. Why are you going to sit there and tell them, oh, I found some money? You know what they're going to say. Keep your mouth closed. We got to tell everybody everything. We got to educate everybody on everything. Right is right and wrong is wrong, you know? No, I don't know. And neither do you. We are the ones that need educating, but try to educate everybody else. There, right and wrong is relative. It's not, it's just, I know that we have a religious kind of mindset that, oh, right is right. No, right and wrong is relative. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is good for us is negative for others, you know?
Tells Miss Smith the cash might belong to a friend of theirs and demanded her to leave it there. She was the only customer in the store. As Miss Smith tried to leave with it, video shows her being stopped by 3 of the store employees. One of them rips the money out of her hands. She's then shoved and restrained.
I was especially scared of the one in the pink. I mean, because she had me around my neck and was she strong. And she was all in my ear. You black, you're not getting out of here.
By now, she's called her granddaughter, who jumped out of her shower to come and help. That's when things get worse.
The police officer came. One of the girls slid out.
Her granddaughter was down there in the road ready to like stand up for her grandma. But that's the thing. They try to pick on the elderly and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
The door. But she slid out and she stood in front. Reached around her and I said, get out in front of the door. Let her out of here.
Destiny, seen in her bathrobe, gets handcuffed by the responding deputy. He also later arrests Destiny's mother, who showed up minutes later and was charged with assaulting one of the clerks. The family.
So somebody probably then went over there and, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, don't do that to, you know, the granddaughter and the mama showed up, you know?
He says the deputy never took statements from them or tried to de-escalate the matter. The store owner has tried to rectify the situation, offering to pay her daughter's bail, even giving her the $50. She declined those offers.
I feel like when things quiet down, the same thing was going to happen to me again.
All 3 of the clerks are fired, but the family wants them arrested.
Why would they do this to her? Why would they think it was okay to take it that far? Like every thought process in there, from locking her in there, assaulting her, the words they use, the racial slurs, I just would want to know why.
I spoke with Sheriff Jack Brandis.
Why do they do this to us? And you know what? Because I'm not going to talk about these things. You know, I'm going to wait till I'm going to show these again on Wednesday when Cassidra is here, you know, because she talked about this. She knows about this, you know, because they had an update to this, but I know she's going to go in on, because we'd be like, why, how could this have happened? But we put our children, ourselves, our elderly in these situations, right? Because we don't understand that we are all we got. You know what I'm saying? We I don't know, this whole intersectionality thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, quote unquote, this is a black person's dream because you don't have to be black first and black only, you know? So,
child.
And, you know, I'm not even going to play that one. So we're going to do that later. And also, we talked about this one, right? But the neighbor who threatened to shoot a black child, right? Don't get
white male threatening violence against another neighbor. And that neighbor happened to be, well, let's just say, a minor. According to the latest, prosecutors will not pursue charges. Put it up full mass. Remember that guy? State attorneys have decided not to prosecute a Florida man who fantasized about shooting a black child on social media after she knocked on his door to sell toys and candy. The girl's mother states, Beyond Shabazz told Atlanta Black.
See, like, the thing is, though, we are such a kind and loving people that is disgusting, really. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even say what I really be thinking to a lot of people, for real, because it's not that, but the softness that we have is crazy to me. The fact that we don't recognize the situation that we're in, and it takes us going through all of this trauma to recognize them. This is trauma being put on to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we wonder why as adults we act the way that we do when we look at the situations that we put our children in. What we learning from junk, what we learning from looking at TV, but then we got to sit there and go to work all day, so we got to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? Because if we understood what time it is, you would have a parent with your child at all times, especially walking around some neighborhood like this, because we see situations where they just shoot through the door if they want to. Anyway, like I said, we're gonna talk about those two things when on Wednesday too. But I also want to show you this. So I don't know if you saw this though. All right, where the little kid blew out the candles from the little black kid. Let's see. It's probably all right, so that's what the internet is saying they should have been doing, choking this little kid out. But it's just the disrespect because it's the elderly, it's the children. But see, they'll talk about fantasize murdering your children.
Nobody could convince me that that kid from that Chuck E. Cheese incident did not know what he was doing. The fact that he actually walked up and blew out another kid's candles, and you did it at the exact right moment, and then you quickly ran off, lets me know you knew what you were doing was dead ass wrong. First of all, where was your mama? Second of all, that situation could have went like totally left. Because if you look at the expressions on the adults' faces, especially the mama, she was in so much shock. She was like, wait, what the hell just happened? And you got some people out here that are so unhinged, baby, they would have been ready to fight that kid. Fight the kid, the mama, and everybody else that came with them about their baby. Like, matter of fact, this you see this leather, he need belt to ass, to be honest. Like, where was your mama? The mama need to respond and say, why would your kid even think it's okay to do this? This lets me know that, is this something that's being taught in y'all environment? Is this something that is in his environment that's going on that makes him think, yeah, this is okay? You know, you ain't even know them people. You look like you're of age enough to know that I don't know these people. This is not right. Baby, this is something that's probably being ingrained in your head that it is okay to treat others. And when I say others, you know I'm talking about others like that. No, that shit wasn't cool. Like,
so y'all see that little disrespectful little kid, and people in this damn show saying that. But listen to, I gotta show y'all peoples. Let me see.
So I hear that we're being called a dirty palm bitch, a little kid for blowing candles out on somebody else's cake because he's a white kid. And the black kid we would walk him like a dog. You know what? Because that's what you teach your fucking kids. You teach your kids to be fucking violent. Then you get up here and a fucking video gets 600,000 views promoting violence.
Now, by the way, nobody did what they were supposed to do. Like now, if that little girl has smacked the hell out of that little white boy and not removed a piece of his cranium, it would have been a problem. See, but you see where they try to put it on, like, oh yeah, well, you teaching your kids by. Meanwhile, you see this little Neanderthal boy going over to somebody else's candles, blowing it out. What is they're teaching him? You know, but they're teaching them is dominance. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the only way to combat that, you know what I'm saying, is like Khalid Muhammad said, why the babies? I mean, if this is not an example of why the babies, I don't know what to tell you.
To little white kids. And you fucking wonder why people have black fatigue. And you fucking wonder why we've had enough of your ghetto ass fucking bullshit. Black women raise violent black boys. And you have fucking proved it with your video with 600,000 fucking hearts. You have proved it. I'll be damned. I dare your little black son try to dog walk my little white son.
Girl, you don't have a white son. You might got a mulatto boy. You can't have no, well, you see the delusion to I dare you to dog walk my white child. Man, do you know that you cannot have a Neanderthal baby? You can have a half Neanderthal baby, which is not black, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Why we've had enough of your ghetto ass fucking bullshit.
You know
black
why
women
you have black
raise
fatigue?
Violent black boys. And you
I
have
wish we
fucking
did,
proved it with your
to be
video
honest with
with 600,000 fucking hearts. You have proved it. I'll be damned. I dare your little black son try to dog walk my little white son. I dare you to try that shit. Because we won't fucking put up with it. You think his white parents are just gonna fucking stand there and let that
Probably.
shit happen? Yeah.
Probably,
No.
yeah.
So I hear that we're being called a dirty palm bitch, a little kid for blowing candles.
All right, so speaking of, she brought up, you know, the meth girl, but check this out.
Palm bitch, a little kid for fucking mood today. So
tongue to count tongue.
I'm not in the fucking mood today. So I hear that.
So that's that little Neanderthal's Neanderthal mom, I think. And listen to her. Or I don't know, maybe it's not.
We're being called a dirty palm bitch, a little kid for blowing candles out on somebody else's cake because he's a white kid. And the black.
You know, only a few of them can have them, so probably is. I don't know. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, either she's one of them that can't have them because, you know, like they can't really reproduce and all of that stuff because of their genetic makeup. But anyway.
I could, but we would walk him like a dog, walk him like a dog. You know what? Because that's what you teach your fucking kids. You teach your kids to be fucking violent. Then you get up here and the fucking video gets 600,000 views promoting violence to little white kids. And you fucking wonder why people have black fatigue. And you fucking wonder why we've had enough of your ghetto ass fucking bullshit. Black women raise violent black boys. And you have fucking proved it with your video with 600,000
so that's what she was repeating it from.
You have proved it. I'll be damned. I dare your little black son try to dog walk my little white son. I dare you to try that shit. Because we won't fucking put up with it. You think his white parents are just going to fucking stand there and let that shit happen? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Now.
So, you know, you see this, you know. Now, you understand this. Like, you think that you're just going to stand there and let that happen? Right? See, you see the mentality that has to be put into our minds, you know what I'm saying? And look, this is what we're going to talk about, you know, because, and I know I took super long getting to the point, but it is what it is, right? Because there is nobody that will come to save us, you know what I'm saying? And the sad part is I know that we don't recognize that yet, you know. It probably will take utter destruction for us to even understand what situation that we're in, right? To understand there's wow, because sitting there arguing about the lesser of two evils and all of that stuff, how all of that stuff is pointless and irrelevant. right? How we don't really want the power that we actually do possess, that we have in our hands. And the part that we really don't want to deal with is that there has to be consequences for actions, right? Somebody has to pay some type of crime, you know, for whatever crime they commit against us. You understand? Right? So, and so check this out, you know, they are charging the brother. I brought this up for a minute.
17-year-old Carmelo Anthony just last week for a deadly altercation that happened at a Texas track meet in April. And now News Nation has viewed a critical piece of video evidence. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed. Anthony admits he stabbed Metcalf while both took cover under a team tent during a rain delay. But Anthony says he was acting in self-defense. News Nation's Rich McHugh has been tracking this case. And Rich, you are one of the reporters who got to view this important piece of evidence.
Yeah, Nicole, they allowed me to view this video under strict conditions. I couldn't record anything. I couldn't take pictures. I could take notes, but that's about it. They would play it one time, and they wouldn't even rewind it or play it again, even the moment in question. So what I saw in the video was ultimately it's from the press box across the field on the 45-yard line. You can view a yellow tent across the field. That's where this incident happened. There's no sound on the video, and it's raining. You can see about 30 to 40 people around the field. It's a track meet that morning, so they're preparing for this track meet. The incident in question happens at 9:44 a.m. It's really calm up until that point, and then chaos ensues, and you can't really make up anybody. You can't make out individuals. You can see people and colors and what they're wearing, but you can't make out identities. But again, at 9:44, chaos ensues. What I did not see was any obvious physical altercation leading up to the stabbing. Now, I went inside the stadium earlier this morning to try and give our viewers a better vantage point of where this all happened. Take a look. Across the field, you can see where the press box cameras captured everything. We're on the 45-yard line here. This is where it ultimately happened. There's a tent right up here, the kind of the sports tent where everybody was huddled at 9:44. Whatever went down happened right here. Everybody kind of took off. Now, according to police reports, Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony were here at this track meet. Austin Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move out from under their team's tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, reached inside, and told.
Now, you understand, right? They're charging them with first-degree murder, right? He went over there, approached them. We already know what happened, right? But the thing that I'm not understanding, why we don't understand, is that it doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter what side it is. It doesn't matter whatever, right? We understand how this system works, and it needs us to make it work on top of that. You know what I'm saying? But for us to expect some kind of justice is, after 1800, delusional. At this point, is like, what the hell is wrong with us? You feel me? Like, this brother, what is he supposed to do? Like, you see the laws is you keep your eyes to the ground, you get out there, you gotta sit in the rain if some random white boy tells you not to. And of course, right, they don't talk about all the guns that they have, how the thug daddy who got charges taught them how to shoot guns and all of this stuff, got all these pictures with guns, right? How they take up karate, and this brother feared for his life. But you see, none of that stuff really matters, because at the end of the day, like, all of this laws and all of this other stuff is nonsense, to be real, right? The real law is, bro, if I say this is mine and I take it from you, what are you going to do about it? If you can't stop me from taking it, then it's mine. That's how it works in the real world, right? But we so delusional that we be like, oh, that ain't right. That ain't right. This right is right. Wrong is wrong. We turn on our. No, that's not how life works, right? there is no casualties, right? That young sister, the fact that she went to jail and they ain't have, you know, we might can raise money and stuff like that, but they should not be in jail in the first place, right? You imprison one of theirs who do something to you, right? Then we're gonna be talking more right is right and wrong is wrong. You know why? Because their police is gonna pull up. If that ain't enough, their army is gonna pull up. If that ain't enough, they're gonna just hire a black missionary army to come in there and infiltrate you. Anyway.
Austin, quote, touch me and see what happens. The police report states Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Anthony pulled out a knife, stabbed Metcalf once in the chest and ran. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. And now, as of last week, Carmelo Anthony indicted for first-degree murder. Nicole?
So, Rich, how might this affect court?
Well, it's a good question. Court date has not yet been set. His first appearance is set, I believe, for July 17th. This video, from what I saw, the question I have is, will they be able to enhance it and to view it, to zoom in? Because what I saw happened very quickly, and there was no obvious altercation just before. So it could be a case where both sides will see what they want to see, but the question remains, how much can they kind of alter or zoom in on this video, Nicole?
All right, Rich McHugh live for us there as this.
Yeah, whatever. Too. Let's see here. Yeah, as we see here. All right. So we'll listen to this clone brother.
Welcome back to the Lean channel. If you're new to my channel, over themselves, you know, and hopefully people in the community or certain communities will wake up who are supporting Carmelo Anthony will wake up to the fact that, you know, this is stupid if you even support this guy. Like
he's doing all this cloning and I only got 2,000 subscribers. But you can see he's definitely trying to hustle. He's trying to jump on it, but he's probably a little bit too late. But it's so easy. All you got to do is speak up to whatever they do.
Like just because of a color, it's unbelievable. Like it's so stupid. Like what is this? Are we in the Stone Ages? Like it's just stupid, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly, that's a compliment. Stone Age people are smarter than these people because at this rate, you know,
it might not be a good one at it. So
first-degree murder indictment against Carmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue.
Now, don't you think you should have some, like, this is what I'd be like, yo, if that's the case, then we need to be having our own courts. And this is what I'd be like, yo, because I don't want them even on my jury duty type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all ever did jury duty or been in a situation where you be at court, but I don't want them on my jury duty even. Right? So why would I be in the same, like, it ain't even about whatever you want to say, because it could be about that. But you being amongst yourself, because if somebody does something to you, it's okay to make sure that you charge them. Because right is right, right? But right ain't right until you can actually stand on it and make sure that it happens. And not only to yourself, let me turn my brother in because right is right. How about you do something to the person who violated your brother in the first place?
Pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court. But when the time comes, we will be ready. Now, we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond. And that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
Crazy, like it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But here we have the Patriot Oasis. It says, breaking, Carmelo Anthony has been granted indigent status, meaning now he is legally considered broke and unable to afford legal representation, despite raising $500,000 plus in donations. Wow. You know, how, like, again, ladies and gentlemen, like, how stupid do you have to be in order to
believe anything you
it's
hear
just
on the
laughable,
internet,
ladies and
right?
gentlemen. And then, you know, it's just crazy all around. Here we have the general covering this as well. It says, pertaining to certain communities, you talk so much about, oh, Black Wall Street, and we were so great, and oh, you know,
He don't even
ancient
have the
Egyptians
talking
and this,
points
that, and the
down
other.
yet.
But then here you are supporting a killer. I don't think, like,
Yeah, put him
your
on the side of a
will be
mountain.
happy about that. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, you know.
Yeah, well, at least we don't put rapists on the side of mountains, you know. I definitely take the care. Put him on the side of a mountain. But how about better yet, we make sure this young brother is good, you know what I'm saying? As Malcolm X would say, by any means necessary. But I don't think that we have the courage to do that because we just want to be comfortable at the end of the day when we're being real about it. Because for real, we are terrified, you know what I'm saying? Because you see situations like this, and you be like, man, that's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna just go down. But the crazy part is, if enough of us got to a point where we'd be like, nah, yo, it is what it is, like you would be good. But we are a little bit too scared to get to that point, and it's going to take utter destruction for that to happen, which is, I'm glad, because I'd be like, how are y'all not mad about this? How are y'all not, like, they're taking our money, they're doing this, they're doing that, how are y'all not mad? And y'all be like, well, it is what it is, pay taxes and you die. Like, no, that's not the way it is. And like, that's crazy.
You know, you guys weren't happy if it was the other way around. Like, that's just me, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about race. I'm just saying, like, you know, it's interesting how they don't think about these things. They just don't think. It's very scary. But people group and they did this and who did that? Like, no. Okay, everyone's accountable for their own actions. So, you know, this is
to walk us through what you saw. We're going to go in order here in just a second, Kelsey. But in general terms, what did the video depict? What did you see?
It shows everything from the moments leading up to the stabbing to the medical response to then the beginning of the police investigation.
Okay, and it lasted several minutes is what they showed you.
It did, about 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's start in the beginning now and talk a little bit about what you saw at the front end of that video, because you got to see the attack, the actual stabbing
right.
place.
So it starts, I started watching about 9:53. The camera shows half of the field. So it's about from the 50-yard line on, and the tent where it happened was kind of right in front of the 50-yard line, but the camera is down here.
Okay.
It's positioned across the field. So everybody in the video, you can tell there are kids or adults, but no one's identifiable.
So a long shot is what
a long shot, yeah.
So a couple of minutes in, and you actually see the altercation take place.
Yes, everything leading up to it, everyone's milling about. It seems very normal. And then right at 9:55, that's when like there's this explosive movement or action between two people under the tent. And that's when the employees in the room told me that's when the stabbing happened at 9:55.
Right. Wow. And you were talking about people kind of start to scatter at that moment. Obviously, something went wrong. And so what happens next? Because now, a little bit later on, that's when the ambulance shows up.
Right. So when the ambulance arrives, it actually comes through near the end zone at the gate, and then it comes up to the 50-yard line directly in front of the tent. You can see Austin Metcalf is right here. But then when they pull up close to the tent, they realize that they can't get the stretcher to him because of the barrier of the bleachers. So at that point, then the paramedics have to get out, and then they have to walk all the way back to the end zone. This is actually, on the next slide. They have to go all the way back to the end zone and then come all the way back. That takes another couple of minutes. So at this point, they've arrived and they are actively working on Metcalf at that point.
And we want to reiterate, we're using some imagery here to sort of denote exactly what was happening here, these little icons that we're using the ambulance, because again, the video was not able to be released. You're watching all of this happen, Kelsey, and you're watching the time sort of elapse. What are you thinking about when you see this, especially when you see sort of the issues in getting Metcalf out of there?
I mean, you know, I understand why it happened the way it happened. They were still working on him. Actually, the thing that really struck me is they're working on him, and that's when you see the rain's coming down heavier, and then they actually pull out the blue tarp.
The blue tarp that we saw.
Right, and then I noticed the Anthony in here.
All right. Anyway, so
of Collin County, state of Texas, duty Anthony. More documents to come. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's looking like. It says, let me see.
So, and people understand, like, be like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? And then when I be like, listen, we aren't citizens, we ain't Americans or none of that stuff, you know, and we shouldn't even want to be. We should want to be our own thing, right? But even when I be like, all of these things is not for us, you know, and so we're gonna go a little bit into the things that I know some of y'all are afraid of, the fools that y'all afraid of. So I guess y'all can come out of the woodwork now, because we're gonna talk about some things that they probably start crying about now, right? And I guess I shouldn't have waited so long, but it is what it is. But it's something that I want y'all to understand. Right, that y'all
A law
has
student
never
at the
been
University of
Americans.
Florida admits that he's a white nationalist and an anti-Semite. Last fall, Preston Dambsky wrote a paper referring to the Constitution to the statement, "We the people," refers to white people and white people only. Once read, federal judge Badamalenti gave Preston an honorary award that shows that he's the best in the class. In this paper, he also argued the removal of voting rights for non-whites, stated that criminal infiltrators at the border should be unalived. Once word about the paper spread around the school, a bit of hysteria spread amongst non-whites at the school.
Now, I know if my good sister Cassidra was here, she'd be like, what the hell are they doing at their damn school in the first place? Right? And I can definitely understand that, right? But, right, first of all, yeah, the Voters' Rights Act got to be renewed every so often. You know what I'm saying? These presidents, you don't just have these rights, because what I try to tell you about a citizen, right, which we can talk about if anybody want to talk about it, you show me where you are according to their constitution, of course, you know. You show me where you are a citizen. Show me where you are a person first. And then second, show me where you are a citizen. Right? And show me where you are what they would call American. Right? Because, you know, we can talk about it. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Let's see.
Our country, hate each other. It's divisive. And it's basically critical race theory is basically teaching people to hate our country, hate each other. It's divisive. And it's basically an identity politics version of Marxism. So I don't think it has any place in the classroom, certainly shouldn't be funded by tax dollars. So as we're doing this bold civics initiative, which is important, I think people like that. But I think a lot of people look at it and say, well, okay, they better be teaching the right stuff. So we're,
you know, the irony is though, like telling, what's banning something from being taught would be closer to Marxism than having the freedom to teach whatever the hell you want to, you know what I'm saying? Which is the irony about what they say, but they're stupid. So it's not really a big, like, you know, everything they say you could do that with, but anyway.
We're going to have a depoliticized curriculum.
Somewhere, as I record this, DeSantis is saying the word woke. Anyway, so he's still talking about it, utterly constantly. That's all he has. That's all he's ever had. And so right there, he's talking about how CRT is just teaching us to hate our country. That's not what it is. If only DeSantis had gone to school, learned a thing, he might know that. But he is in charge. And so woke is out. And his new fact-based approach to education is in. So he had appointed these conservative think tank board members to this university board, and they've started setting up these new programs and bringing in new professors who will be these Marxists with blue hair or whatever. And so what's the result of that? Well, white supremacy can now win you book awards, actually. And I'm not.
Well, now, well. it can pass you laws. I can tell you that.
I'm exaggerating. That is literally what is happening. So there's a student, Preston Damsky, who took a class last fall on originalism, the legal theory that the Constitution should be interpreted on its meaning when it was first adopted. So this class was taught by a judge who was appointed by Donald Trump, John Battle.
Now, the Constitution should be interpreted on its meaning when it was first adopted, which is the job of like the judicial branch of the government. You know what I'm saying? And their job is to never stray away from. In fact, their whole thing is the Constitution, right? And this original meaning. You know what I'm saying? Now they have other laws that they add on to the Constitution, but it cannot. Well, I guess it can. Everything they do contradicts itself, but you know what I'm saying.
Damsky, the student, wrote a paper which argued we the people should only be applied to white people and non-white people shouldn't have voting rights, to which the Trump-appointed judge gave him the book award for the paper.
Now, when you say we the people, this is the part that we have to understand. That's what it's always meant. That's why he gets awards or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it should mean that. That's what it does mean. Right, you notice in every single debate that they had ever since, really since the beginning, since George Washington, but Abraham Lincoln, since they want to name it the Douglas debates or whatever, it's the Negro question. What are we going to do with these Negroes? It's always the Negro question, right? Because they can't get rid of you because they need you, but they also hate you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just an abusive cycle, right? Because if they was to send all of us back to Africa tomorrow, in 6 months by Christmas, they're going to be planning on invading Africa or either coming over there trying to be like tourists. We're going to be like, hey, come on into the cookout. This one is good. He can dance a little bit or he knows how to speak whatever language. Come on in. And then they're going to get kidnapped and all that stuff all over again.
He is an award-winning author for that, for his whites only theory. So that's fun. The issue is that he didn't just write papers, he also wrote online. And so he ended up going online, writing some wildly anti-Semitic posts, which ended up with him being suspended and banned.
All right. Anyway, speaking of this anti-Semitic stuff, I want y'all to see this. It's not like a lot of news places covering this, but I want y'all to see this. Speaking of anti-Semitism, so the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is awarding $94 million in security grants to 512 Jewish faith-based organizations, meaning for the protection of shysters, for shysterness, you know what I'm saying? They get $94 million. It's a nonprofit security grant program intended to help these organizations enhance their security measures in response to a rise in anti-Semitic threats. Ain't that something? Now, see, I'm the first to tell you we should be pissed off that they be taking our damn tax money, right? Because this is, if we're going to have whatever tax money that goes to that, if it's 2 cents, I want it back, and I want that to go to whatever is protecting blackness. And I'm ready to go to war for that. Let them burn all of their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good. That's the point. Good. Because it don't matter which one that they are. Y'all can try to separate them all that you want to. I don't care if they're even the mulatto ones like the Arabs and the Mexicans. We have no friends. So the grants are a direct response to a surge in anti-Semitic incidents. Right? So y'all can see this. And this is HomelandSecurity.gov from 3 days ago. And it's not a lot of stuff on this here. All right, so you can see this been going on for a long time. That's 8 years ago. 58, mostly Jewish nonprofits get security grants. So this is from 8 years ago. So whatever they try to say right now.
That's why this Jewish day school in Clifton applied for a federal security grant to install surveillance cameras, beef up the perimeter where gates don't even completely close. Rabbi Isaac Kagan says they want to strike a balance, not go to extremes.
One parent mentioned something about putting up barbed wires and, somehow providing guns for certain, staff members in certain places. So we don't want to go that route. We want it to be a school. But at the same time, there's plenty that we can do that will fortify this structure.
And the school got $72,000 from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to help pay for it. Clifton haters among...
So they got $72,000 to pay for a school, for security, for Jewish nonprofits. That is true.
Plenty that we can do that will, fortify this structure.
And the school got $72,000 from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to help pay for it. Clifton haters among 58 New Jersey nonprofits, most of them Jewish, sharing $4.3 million in federal security grants this year. That's more than double last year's $1.9.
Wait, now 8 years ago. Wait, hold on. 8 years ago. So you mean to tell me it don't matter who's in? Because it wasn't. Was it Trump 8 years ago? No, I think that's when, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it was.
$9 million awarded to 27 groups. Jersey's Office of Homeland Security helped them fine-tune grant applications.
Showing that there's a threat against their facilities or in their faith in general. Showing that there are gaps in security in their facilities. So we require them to do a facility assessment.
So that was 8 years ago, So
Anti-Semitic attacks last year in Colorado. According to the Anti-Defamation League, there were all-time highs in anti-Semitic incidents in America and in Colorado. 279 incidents were recorded around the state. Those green bubbles show the cities where those attacks have happened. 11 News reporter Cameron Dean is joining us now. Cameron, you spoke with a Jewish leader about
Beit Torah. So they've been getting a whole lot of money throughout the years, no? Oh. A year ago, $60 million from New York.
$60 million in state funding is being allocated to aid at-risk Jewish nonprofits. This comes after recent bomb threats statewide against Jewish houses of worship. Gio Battaglia is in studio now with this story. Gio.
Natalie, the Jewish Federation of Greater Rochester says they had already begun efforts to keep the local Jewish community safe. Now this grant would help continue those efforts. You might remember.
Now this was a year ago. Look like it don't matter who the hell up in there, for real, that they're getting these millions and millions and millions of dollars for protection, quote unquote. When, let's be real, they do a lot of the violence throughout the world. But as a white group, you tell me what's the difference between them and a Russian. One says anti-Semitism.
Remember when we reported back in September about bomb threats at 2 Rochester area synagogues, as well as an incident at Temple Beth Kodesh. Incidents like these have continued and are what led to this grant from Governor.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not a lot of news coverage. I don't even like to play this dude videos. But it's not a lot of videos.
The reason organizations to fight anti-Semitism, fam.
Absolutely crazy. I've had 4 members of Congress say, I'll talk to my AIPAC person. And it's clearly what we call them, my AIPAC guy.
The reason why I'm a little taken aback by hearing this news is that I'm old enough. I'm an old man. And I'm old. Same thing, a grant for Black women to start up businesses. That's correct. Now, you know how much the right loves to say, lift yourself up by the bootstraps. That's literally what she was doing. She was paving the way for other Black women to start businesses, okay, by giving them something that most Black businesses failed to have at the jump, and that is capital. And they said, hey, that's discriminatory, that's racist, that's this and that, and they filed a false lawsuit against her. Okay, if you actually look into the details, I did a video on it, it was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. They wanted to say, oh, they didn't offer the scholarship or the grant to.
So yes, they sued the Black woman doing this.
What are we talking about? What anti-Semitism? What rise to anti-Semitism? Where did this even come from? Okay, where did this come from? So I started asking questions. I get my answer. Do y'all want to know where this whole $94 million fight anti-Semitism even came from? It came from October 7th.
What? That the temple spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on security, and he's very concerned about the rise in anti-Semitism since October 7th.
Once again, I'm not geographically sound, all right? Just being in LA, being an LA native, it just is what it is. We know LA. So October 7th, I'm like, that doesn't ring a bell. That has nothing to do with us in LA. I checked over with New York. They didn't say anything. I checked over with Florida. They didn't say anything. I checked over with the 50 states in this country and 51, and they didn't say anything to me. They say, Lucas, October 7th doesn't mean anything to us. Nothing happened to us. 9/11 maybe, but no October 7th. Then I did some digging. Apparently, October 7th, I'm being facetious, by the way. October 7th has to do with Israel. So we're giving $94 million to Jewish organizations here for something that didn't even happen here, fam. Didn't even happen here. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. You are attacking Black people for trying to actually do what you told them to do, which is lift themselves up by the bootstraps. That's what you're doing.
Critical of Israel, which is
okay. All right. Then he goes on to say, well, we gotta dig deeper. Then we come to find out they believe that Israel doesn't have a right to exist.
and usually when they go into the territory not of being critical of Israel, which is fair game, but they say Israel has no right to exist at all. Now we get into the area of anti-Semitism.
Now, hear me out. I understand that there may be a very small get the argument right. And it seems this individual, and then we compound that information with what Ron DeSantis just did. Ron DeSantis just put out a new law talking about anti-Semitism. That's correct. I don't know. I don't know what the Jewish population is in Florida. I don't know. From my understanding, the majority is in New York. Okay, I don't know. But nevertheless, maybe they migrated. But nevertheless, he put out this.
See, the thing is, I'm not going to talk about one side or the other and put one side over the other and act like it's a lesser of two evils and like that. All of them, or I'll just say we have no friends. That is something we won't understand no matter how much that I speak it. The only way is for you to see it. Now, I get that people have issues and all of that stuff, but yo, I am sorry. It is what it is, right? I guess I ain't on no suicidal stuff like I was, but it is what it is. You gotta have to do what you gotta do to get where you want to get. But we don't have, let's be real, we don't have a racist bone in our body. We don't. We are too afraid to be racist, right? But every other group is going to make sure that they are getting what is owed to them, or there will be consequences. The one thing that is the separator, the difference is that right is right and wrong is wrong. But see, people understand the context of right and wrong. It's wrong to wrong me because I'm Black. That's the wrongest thing that there could be. And there must be consequences for that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, like I said, they don't talk about that. But speaking of the Department of Homeland Security, right? Because I want you to see how because I'm not going to just talk about when they got whipped at the border under the other people. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about both sides and how to them they understand it, the whole context of the situation. They understand how this thing works. You know what I'm saying? But we as a people do not recognize or understand how life works, and that's sad. But maybe utter destruction will help us learn something, or we'll be wiped out. You know what I'm saying? But at least we won't have to deal with it no more. Either we win and we learned, or we get wiped out. But at least we don't have to deal with it no more, right?
Thanks a lot. Fear and uncertainty is running rampant in South Florida's Haitian American community. The Trump administration is doing away with deportation protections for hundreds of thousands of Haitian nationals living right here in the U.S. Local activists are sounding the alarm today, urging people to speak out and press Congress to act. Local 10's Christina Vasquez live now in North Miami with what's at stake for so many. Christina.
Hey, they coming for you next. Well, this is the game plan of America. Duh. They come for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But there's no unity because it's F you when it's only coming for us. You feel me? And this is for me, for more so every other group or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that goes to people who will sell out their own people, thinking that being American is the thing to be. Because as we see, you show me where you are American. You don't have to vote on a Voters' Right Act for Americans. You don't. But you show me. But anyway.
As you will see, the Haitian American community leaders we heard from this morning are really seeking to broaden their tent. They're trying to appeal to other Americans that they say share with them a support for America's democratic customs and traditions.
With the stroke of a pen, their futures are being erased.
Current and former elected leaders representing the Haitian American community in Miami-Dade
My family came here to seek the American dream, and right now it's becoming the American nightmare.
and Broward.
My fellow Americans, we have lost our humanity.
Faith leaders.
We are throwing people out in the.
My fellow Americans, we have lost it. It's said in 1776, what's 5th of July, 1776, America, we have lost our humanity. But anyway, sorry, my bad.
Midst of a hurricane.
Activists and lawyers
We will continue to fight this in the courts.
worked to appeal to all Americans.
Coming together around basic values of compassion, of decency, of dignity, of respect.
To rally for their neighbors and colleagues with temporary protective status or TPS.
These are people who are welcome here.
Who just learned Friday the Trump administration
Don't got nothing to do with America. Wait a minute, because Israel is not in America now, is it? And white South Africa. Wait a minute, I'm starting to think it doesn't have to do with the political thing. Wait a minute, you mean they're all evil? There is no lesser of two evils? No, it's just a game. But you know what makes us feel comfortable? The fact that I can go home, go upstairs and lay down and go watch some Netflix and just forget all about it and get ready for work tomorrow so I can make some white dude more millions of dollars while he's sitting in the AC all day, and then get paid while they take out my tax money, and then like the insurance thing, which is a whole scam. But yo, that's just the way it is. Well, I hope all of it gets destroyed. So how about that? I'm sorry. I might be selfish, but think about it. It's better by the time your grandkids, grandchildren, and your great grandchildren come along, it'll be better for them. You might have to suffer, but think about it like this. You're suffering for them, you know.
strip them of their deportation protections and work permits, encouraging them to self-deport by September 2nd.
Terminating TPS now is dangerous.
The U.S. designated Haiti for temporary protective status, or TPS, on the basis of conditions in Haiti that prevented.
Wait. I wonder what happened to Haiti. Haiti is the first free black republic of the world, is it not? But the truth is, did they actually win that war? Did any of us win it? Why is it like it is today? That's the question. And the crazy part is, if you see, look at this. If these brothers with these guns and ammo learn to turn the guns in the right direction to like France somewhere and be like, yo, give me all of that money back. And then each person that we had taken was invaluable, or each year that we lost was invaluable. So you owe us for whatever it is. Imagine that, because they can't beat you. You've seen it. They can't beat you. Every time that you stood up, they lost. So if these young brothers realize, hey, we some young brothers, and I'm pissed off. Because look at my country, look at my situation, and this is for black people globally. And why are we like this? What happened? And what would change that? And that anger that I have, use that energy to go do that instead of like going at each other. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for the scraps. And then when a dude pull up with a French flag on his chest or something, with a French jacket or something, we be bowing down. Ain't nobody gonna shoot him. Well, I guess that's changing, hopefully, with the next.
The U.S. designated Haiti for temporary protective status, or TPS, on the basis of conditions in Haiti that prevented nationals from returning safely. On Friday, a DHS spokesperson stating that the environmental situation in Haiti has improved enough that it is safe for Haitian citizens to return home.
They will be kidnapped, raped, and killed.
The TPS announcement.
And look, and I get it, right? Because I can't be like, yo, like, whatever. I'm not saying that, right? To a black person. I'm saying that fundamentally we can never be free as long as we like scare Negroes, though. You know what I'm saying? And not saying like Haitians, or I'm talking about black people, period. And the fact that we need somebody else's comfort to make it comfortable to be in our own country, or to be in somebody else's country, right? Let alone because of what they did to put it in that situation in the first place. But we could never be talking about freedom if we be like, well, we have to do this so we can make sure that our people even, right? Because it's not really our people, because we've seen the Haitians get beat at the borders when they try to come here. But that's a whole nother topic, right? But the fact that they have to go to a European country to feel like they are safe, and we got to step up and be like, hey, let's save America so that other people can leave black countries because it's so bad. But the irony is it'll continue to be bad as long as we try to keep up this American thing. So trying to keep the ones who do be able to make it safe. It's crazy. It's like a catch-22. You're gonna have to come to a point where we can figure out how to turn the guns outwards and not inwards anymore. But right now, we're done. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. Good Negroes will never gain freedom. That's a fact.
Coming just days after, take a look, this U.S. Embassy in Haiti security alert telling U.S. citizens to depart as soon as possible. Community members here urging South Floridians to contact Congress.
It is time to put a stop to this.
He's like, he texted Hillary Clinton, yo, get up out of your mansion over there in Haiti for a little while.
Because sending Haitians back to Haiti is going to be blood on your hands. Amen.
That's the thing. That's the thing. All of it is the blood on their hands. Like, what the? And they like it. They like the blood on their hands. The catch-22 is that as black people, we're going to have to be in our own countries to ever be free, to ever, like, for them to be safe in America, destruction needs to be happening in Haiti. Right? You know what I'm saying? But then I understand when people be like, yo, and I don't want them to get deported back to Haiti, but well, what do you like? Listen, somebody's gonna have to take an L here. You know what I'm saying? And the way that the universe seems to work is that it'll give you chance and chance and chance to walk away, to do what you're supposed to do. But if you don't walk away, it's going to hurt you and force you to walk away and do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't learn your lesson, you're gonna get kidnapped and enslaved for a fourth time in 1,000 years. You know, whatever. I don't understand.
100,000 Haitians here in the United States will lose their temporary protected status on September 2nd. That's after the Department of Homeland Security announced the termination of the temporary legal protections for Haiti. Reporter Rachel Perry has the details and what local advocates are saying about it.
A spokesperson for DHS says the environmental situation in Haiti has improved enough for Haitian citizens to return home, but some disagree, saying in no way is Haiti safe for people to return to. In a matter of months, roughly 500,000 Haitians in the U.S. will no longer be covered by legal protections. The Department of Homeland Security saying the temporary protection status for the country expires on August 3rd and the termination will be effective on September 2nd. A DHS spokesperson writing, quote, "The environmental situation in Haiti has improved enough that it is safe for Haitian citizens to return home." Here in Florida, the Florida Immigrant Coalition disagrees, maintaining from...
And you know what the crazy part is, though? If Haiti was safe enough to return home and people was on code enough, they would make sure that you don't return home. That's the funny part about it. Like, if we was to understand who we was, they would do everything they could to keep you out of Haiti, you know. But since it's destroyed and whatever, and then we just have this mentality, it got so far that we can't even be around our own people, whether it be here in like our own communities and the hoods or our own countries. We try to escape to other countries who actually need you, your labor, your force, your energy, your resources that come from the country that you in. They need all of that to thrive, but they need you to be in this situation here, you know. And it's going to keep happening until we could be like, yo, we want to go to Haiti. We want to go to Africa. We want to go to these black nations and do business with each other and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And wherever that we live in the world, we have some sort of thing that will protect us, that if this blackness get violated, we know that there's going to be a price to pay, you know?
From January to March 2025, more than 1,600 people died at the hands of gang members. Writing, quote, "With armed gangs controlling large parts of the country, terrorizing civilians, making daily survival a struggle, and the absence of basic necessities, Haiti has turned into one of the most dangerous places in the Western Hemisphere."
You could say, look, we no longer want to do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, from the most prosperous to the most dangerous. Ain't that something?
But give me a better excuse than that. Haiti is not stabilized. Haiti is worse off than that.
Philip Brutus, a Florida attorney and former state legislator, grew up in Haiti, saying it's not the place he once knew.
They kill people every day. They kidnap people every day. People get burned every day. So again, U.S. has every right to terminate it based on some accepted parameters. But to say the country stabilized, no, that nobody believes that.
Brutus says he understands it was temporary, but terminating it now doesn't feel right.
Let's put it this way.
LBJ said, I have them Negroes demanding the Democrats back. And the funny part is they do it too. They just gonna do it with a smile on their face, like, oh yeah, Negroes, we're just gonna whip you at the border, but we're gonna, well, yeah, evil is good.
The administration says, do not travel to that country. U.S. citizens, don't go there. It's not safe. And those who are there, come back home. That tells you right there. If it's what's good for the goose, should be good for the gander.
Brutus says now.
That's something. You should say that.
The goose should be good for the gander.
So what would they do in that situation? Ain't that something? I don't know. what to tell you.
Meantime, tonight, anxiety for Haitians in South Florida speaking out about the decision to end TPS. Now, the Trump administration maintains that conditions in Haiti have improved.
Leaders in Haiti say even though that's true, they're not equipped for that many people to return home. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis is in Little Haiti. And Trish, what is the reaction that you're getting there?
Well, the reaction was a lot of sadness and frustration.
Now, when we tell you that crackers, peckerwoods, whatever you want to call them, Neanderthals are Neanderthals, and they're always going to be that, you have to understand that there is no rhyme or reason. There is no talking with anybody, right? So when we tell you that you have to understand that they're going to bite the hand that feeds them, right? You can't do anything. So throwing your own under the bus won't end well for you. This is why we learned about having no friends in the first place. You feel me? Because like the Mexicans been stabbing you on the back since the 1500s, like literally. You know what I'm saying? The Indians, the Indian groups you even say that you're with, was stabbing you in the back the whole time, right? There was, even if you shared tribes with the Asian looking ones that probably got Denisovan blood in them, they stabbed you in the back too. Just as much as Mexicans and Arabs do right now.
Frustration today. We are currently at the Cultural Arts Center here in Little Haiti. It's a gathering place for the Haitian community here in South Florida, and that Haitian community is fearful tonight after the Trump administration.
You're definitely black now. Like, you know, I know black. You're definitely black.
Community is fearful tonight after the Trump administration announced it will terminate temporary protected status, or TPS. Local leaders gathered today in one of the most Haitian populated counties in the country.
I'd be like, why ain't black people mad? Why ain't black people mad? Well, because it wasn't happening to other people, because we have low self-esteem. Bad things are supposed to happen to us. We think all sorts of things about ourselves that is low self-esteem. Let's see, right is right and wrong is wrong, but you know, maybe we did something to deserve this abuse that we receive on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd be like, how are we cool with them taking our tax money? How are we cool with them, like, you know, the stuff that they do? Like, why aren't we outraged? And it took for them to do to show who they really are, because we wanted to believe in the good white person trope. We wanted to believe that John Brown is real, right? Because it has to be. It just has to be. But that mythological thinking, it really just speaks about a low self-esteem, and it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to change that mentality, right? And that's why, you know, shouts out to Matron. Maybe the religious thing in our own religion will help, like, bring blackness back to a level where we want it and willing to protect it. But I don't know. When we are a group of people that shame each other, that we should put ourselves last, you know what I'm saying, so that other groups of people can escape the tyranny that the groups of people in the first place are causing in their own places of where they're from, then we're going in a constant circle. And at some point, like, it's like when you let abuse build up so long, the more that it's gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever like mess with somebody for so long that you knew you shouldn't have messed with, and the longer that you wait to leave or whatever you're supposed to do, the more that it hurts. So after like 600, 700 years, it's probably gonna hurt a little bit in the beginning. But the fact that it took so much, something so extreme for people to finally be mad about it. And it wasn't just the regular getting smoked on the street and getting locked up by the millions and, you know what I'm saying, school to prison pipelines and like, you know what I'm saying, like all of the things that we had to quote unquote fight to be a part of this. Why aren't we mad about any of these things? I'm glad that you're finally mad. Thank goodness that you're finally mad.
Warning that ending TPS for Haitians isn't just policy, it's a humanitarian disaster.
The Haitian community is watching, and we will not be silent.
The Trump administration says Haitian conditions have improved enough so TPS will end on September 2nd for roughly 500,000 Haitians.
Haiti is not secure. Haiti is going through the worst political crisis in its history.
Locals in Haiti today tell CBS News Miami the island isn't ready for 500,000 people.
I think we are ready. Nowhere near. I mean, we're already saturated. And quite honestly, the security concerns are just the same as they were 3 years ago. Nothing really has changed. However, we cannot take out the ones that we have here now, let alone bring in another 500,000.
The U.S. State Department has issued a level 4 do not travel warning for Haiti, citing kidnappings, armed gangs, and no functioning government. Video from today shows locals up and down the main streets, garbage and fire on the curbs. Haiti schools are closed, hospitals overwhelmed, gangs running the streets. Locals tell us there is nowhere for them to stay when they arrive.
There's not a good place for them to come back and settle into. It's a very difficult situation for people coming back.
Community leaders today saying deporting those in our community will set them up for disaster upon arriving, saying they will be targeted, kidnapped, raped, and killed with the assumption they have money.
Sending Haitians back to Haiti is going to be blood on your hands.
They know that. That's what they live for. Anyway, I don't mean to be sounding like cold and heartless or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not like what it is. But in a situation where, look, the point is to have total chaos, right? To bring a destruction to Haiti, right? The first Black Republic, right? The Haitian Revolution, you know what I'm saying? Where the formerly most profitable colony, right? They just split the whole island up into two parts and call it two different countries when it's really one island. Right? So of course there's like total destruction and all of that stuff, right? And we can go through a whole history lesson about where we got to. But listen, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead on and finish up because ain't nobody saying nothing anyway. I know it's people listening, but I wanted to play this, you know what I'm saying? Because shouts out to this brother for doing this.
Julius Malema has been banned from the UK. Now, who is Julius Malema for you who don't know him? He is the leader of the EFF party of South Africa, and he has been singing some chants that can be interpreted as incitement to violence. In fact, it's a direct and clear incitement to violence. He is calling for people to kill the boy and kill the farmer. You can listen to it.
Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
So he's basically chanting a murderous chant against white people. Trump showed this and other clips to Cyril Ramaphosa, the South African president, and Cyril Ramaphosa wasn't particularly happy. And this was one of Trump's good moments, if you ask me. And in fact, it's just totally indefensible. Stupid. You just can't defend it. But he has said much more. And he has been taken to court by the AfriForum. And he has said some really bad stuff. In fact, he has said that he can't deny that he will ever call for a white genocide. So I'll show you also some bits here from.
Can any of us truly say, and a lot of us would probably be like, yeah, I can say that, you know, And that's why we got enslaved for the 3 times, you know what I'm saying? And probably gonna be a 4th time. But the truth is, can any of us really deep down say that? We can't say. We don't know what's gonna happen in life, you know. Can I say I won't call for a white genocide? I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen in life?
Julius Malema.
Must never be scared to kill.
Mm.
A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act.
So he's basically saying that at some point killing must happen because he's part of it's part of the revolution, and he is also part of the, relatively speaking, Communist Party. And if you do the math,
what is this, 1962? The Communist Party, Marxist, like they need to get some new disses or whatever. What is it, 1965? It's part basically communist. When what he's saying is actually more in line with, like, you know, the stuff that they believe in, like the communist stuff. But they're too stupid to understand that. So that's neither here nor there.
that's not
ruling
good.
Of white people.
And here he was taken to court by AfriForum, and just look at what he says, because he just doesn't back down.
Slaughter of white people, at least for now. That means at some future date, we may call for the slaughter of white people. Is that correct?
Let's deal with that at that future date. I don't know what's going to happen.
So who knows what's going to happen? Who does any of you have a crystal ball? Well, I know some of you know that you will call it. Blah, blah. Oh yeah, I'm about to get off of here right now, Matron. I'm sorry, I would have got off of here if I knew you was on here. It must be pain and blood. That's a fact. None of us have a crystal ball. We don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if some white boy gonna run up on me while I'm, you know what I'm saying, at a track event while it's raining, telling me to move, and I gotta defend myself. You know what I'm saying?
Means at some future date, we may call for the slaughter of white people. Is that correct?
Let's deal with that at that future date. I don't know what's going to happen.
So you're saying you are not ruling out that in the future you may very well call for the slaughter of white people.
Who knows,
it may not be me.
Right.
Could it be you?
It could be me, yes, but it may not be me.
Yeah, so it could be you. You could
be
at some
anybody.
future date, call for the slaughter of white people.
So he says that basically he doesn't call for white genocide right now, or for the slaughter of white people right now.
Now is a, you know, define right now is what I'd say.
But it's on the table. At some point he could. It's something that he
now
could
have
examine
been
potentially.
a minute ago.
It's part of the alternatives he feels comfortable entertaining. So here he...
Are you still going live,
was
Matron? Yo, Matron, are you still going live? I'm about to get off right now.
Invited by Cambridge University to give a speech in May, and the visa application wasn't processed in time. So he accuses here the British High Commission in South Africa of deliberately failing to process a visa application in time for him to visit the UK to give an address at Cambridge University. In a statement, EFF national spokesperson Sinawo Thambo said Malema was scheduled to address the 11th annual Cambridge Here the economic freedom fighters are showing the letter that was given, and the UK state considers to be terrorist groups, Hamas and Hezbollah. And
so, okay, tomorrow night at 7. Okay, tomorrow at 7. Make sure y'all just subscribe and hit the thing so y'all can see when Mitchell go live.
And he's also someone who has called for the slaughtering of white people. And here we have a post by the Conscious Caracal, says Malema's court case testimony comes back to haunt him. In the visa rejection letter to Malema, the UK visa...
Oh, I can't go to cold, dark, rainy London where they can't even grow anything and don't have no resources. Oh, no, I can't go there. Well, how about you can't come to South Africa? How about that? Like, who you think would hurt more? You can't go to some dirty country in Europe, or they can't come to like some what they need their civilizations to run off of, including you as a person. You know what I'm saying? Your blood, sweat, and tears. Who do you think is going to be hurt more? It's like, just like in those situations where toxic situations, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't lead a person, but you give them everything, try to fight to be with them, and they treat you like garbage and smack you around. And then you finally stand on your own and realize, damn, I'm doing better without you. And then guess what they do? They come right back, don't they? Be like, oh yeah, I want everything that I had. And then you're going to be right there on the boat, and that tucked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be next to Matron and Anthony on the boat, headed back to America after we finally got back to Africa. I'm joking.
As an immigration center directly references his unhinged testimony from AfriForum's 2022 Equality Court Kill the Boer case. Malema's testimony that he could not rule out the possibility. So,
anyway,
how worse is the South African government?
I'm not trying to say that whatever, but this is a good honor. So shouts out to Malema for getting this honor. And just to wrap it up, you know, we got to play this, you know. So
Texas Walmart shouted racist insults at a black shopper, causing a public scene.
Right? You want to see my back kick right now?
Call the cops.
See, it's not, this is the wrong one because this one didn't count. But you know what? This is going to be the last one just so we can go out on something positive. And unfortunately, I had to go back because we a lot of good Negroes, but unfortunately, good Negroes will never gain freedom, which will explain our situation. So let's show you a good Negro here to go out on something positive.
My mama, nigga. Fuck my mama. Fuck your mama, nigga. Fuck your mama. You're gonna pop up. I live on 400 Oxford Avenue, 2 blocks away. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I'm gonna walk to you. I'm gonna walk right to my house for you, bro. Oh God, I'm not trying to disrespect you, bro. I'm not. I'm gonna say nigga all day, every day. Are you kidding me? Where you from, nigga? Where you from? Where you from? Where the fuck you from?
I don't know, just South Africa or South Central.
Nigga? You from here? Get the fuck out of here, you a clown, nigga. Oh God, you a clown, nigga. You from here? You a clown. What, you gonna smack me with that? Smack. Smack me. Smack me, nigga. Come on, yeah. Drop it. Oh.
No, definitely from here. They ain't doing that in South Africa or Haiti or. I'm joking. I'm gonna take that back. they might do it. But all right, let me run it back.
You from here? Get the fuck out of here, you a clown, nigga. Oh God, you a clown, nigga. You from here? You a clown. What, you gonna smack me with that? Smack. Smack me. Smack me, nigga. Come on, yeah. Drop it.
Oh. Yeah, you got yours, buddy.
Call me another fucking nigga. I don't give a fuck. All right, man, you guys should ever get his lesson, man. Ain't no reason to call me another nigga. Call me another fucking nigga.
Okay.
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 Good. You good now? You're good.
Can they ever really be good?
I asked you not to call me a nigga.
As Matron quoted from Dr. Bobby Wright, blood debts must be paid in blood. So the question is he all right? I don't know. But anyway, make sure that y'all listen to Matron tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Subscribe to her channel. Shouts out to you, Raw, in the building. Shouts out to Erica. Shouts out to Cassidra. We're gonna be back Wednesday at 8:30. And shouts out to everybody else. And I just want you to know, good Negroes will never gain freedom. So you know what? I'm gonna let this brother. Hopefully, this is a good point, but I'm sure it is. It just works out good. So This will be good last words for y'all. Good Negroes will never gain freedom.
And yet, unlike W.E.B. Du Bois or Booker T. Washington, we still hesitate to drop our buckets where we are and to operate as a nation.
Japanese women weigh less and
All right, well, that's good enough. You know, I appreciate that. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.